Hello and good morning everyone, Merch Hunter Ricky back, and this time I brought you 3 devil fruits. So 2 of them are going to be paramecia and 1 will be a zoan type. So let's just jump right into them. The first one we have right now is the peace fruit. And this is a devil fruit that is taken from the inspiration of Boa's love fruit. I feel like there's a lot of fruits that can be used from emotion. So, there are plenty of fruits we can delve from. And although peace is not an emotion, it invokes, a state of calmness and stuff like that. But there's already the calm fruit, which honestly should have just been called the silent fruit. So I got the peace fruit. So starting off with this, the user is going to be able to activate it in many different ways. I don't know if they're just going to already have like a peaceful aura about themselves, or if they themselves are just going to be a completely normal person that is able to invoke the feeling of peace onto other people. I figured this could be the activation sign just because it's a very simple one, just 2 fingers for the peace sign. Maybe you have to like have both of them out for like a peace beam. And for the most part, unless, like we've learned in later chapters, Haki can overwhelm the power of a devil fruit and cancel it out altogether. I have confused that before for Sea Prism Stone, which just weakens the devil fruit user to the point where they just don't have enough energy to actually use their power, but they could still technically use their power. So for the peace fruit, step number 1, activation requirement is using your 2 fingers like this and pointing at whoever you want to become peaceful. Like imagine if Kobe had this fruit at the Battle of Marineford and just walked up to Akainu and was just, peace beam, calm down, dude. And Akainu's over there talking about, you know what? We should be friends with the pirates. That would honestly be crazy, right? This fruit was also suggested by a very cool and awesome user on YouTube named Milo Self-Esteem. He's a subscriber to the channel and has been around for a while, so gotta appreciate you, bro. Much appreciation, man. So another thing that you could do with this peace fruit, other than just, peace beam people, I think you could create like peace constructs. I don't know how it would work necessarily, like what shape it would take. Would it take like the hippie symbol for peace, or would you be able to like just shape them like your own, right? I kind of figured that like maybe they would be like flowers, like the whole hippie aspect, like the 1960s vibe of being like a peace fight, like someone for peace, stand up against the power, man, and all that good stuff. So maybe you could either like shape it to like flowers that are all tie-dye, and you can like pluck one out of your hair or something and just throw it on someone, and as long as that is on them, they are calm. So it's not just relying on you like being able to look at someone and blast them with peace energy. You can also like pull off some, maybe like your hair or something, or like an article of your clothing, or just manifest it straight, just straight up manifest it and, frisbee a peace flower onto someone. And when it connects with them, it removes all the anger, all the aggression, all the hostility from their body. And it leaves someone who, relatively chill, likable person who just wants to be peaceful. Now, I'm not too sure what other applications this fruit would have other than that, because there are some fruits that give multiple powers, but the application that they have is like a one and done kind of use. Maybe you can do like a peace tent or something, and everyone under the tent is now affected by it, as opposed to just being able to beam it from far away and pull it off and throw it onto someone. Maybe this one would just encompass a wide variety, or like a wide area, and just get anyone underneath it. Maybe there is a caveat to who can be susceptible to this peaceful nature. Like for example, if you are not a hostile person, not an angry person, not a mean person, I don't think the fruit would affect you at all, right? Like Boa's fruit on Luffy. Luffy felt no lust. There was nothing to happen, right? So maybe, already nice people, or just people who are not hostile at the time, or just not overtly hostile in general, the fruit's not going to need to work on them. So, you can blast them all you want, but they're not going to turn peaceful. That's just not who they are. If there's weird cuts in the video, it's because I'm drinking coffee throughout this whole time, so deal with it. So yeah, the peace fruit, very simple fruit, I'm just spitballing ideas here. Help me out. If you guys have any better suggestions in the comments for what it can do other than, make people calm or different ways to make them calm. I got the three main ones right now. You get a beam, you hold your hands up like this and like a beam shoots out of your fingers. That's probably going to be like tie-dye and goofy looking, and it just woof, just wave the anger off of someone, all the hostility, all that good stuff off of them and make them peaceful. Then you can summon or pull out a badge almost, because like hippies have their little vests and they got like the little badges on them, like little pins and all that. Maybe you could make like a heart-shaped pin, a flower pin, a smiley face pin, and throw it at them. And as long as it's on them, there's no duration to how long it lasts. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there and they're peaceful. Obviously, it's easy though, because if they see it and they go, oh, what's this cute thing, and take it off, boom, they're no longer under the effects of your fruit. But, that still has very good application to it. Now, maybe I have a pretty dorky one. Speaking of Akainu, maybe you can summon like a lava lamp and in the area of the lava lamp, people are peaceful. Just something dorky like that. Now, some power names, obviously, like this would be the peace beam. I think relaxation badge or something like that, just to throw it onto someone, something corny like that. And, lava lamp, I would honestly just leave it at that. Like, peaceful lava lamp, and just throw it on the ground and make everyone calm down. Or like, tent of peace, and you summon like a weird construct that's peaceful and it makes everyone inside of it calm down. I think another thing you could do is, like, I'm not too sure, 6 powers or hockey. I don't think they would be really necessary for this power's success, but obviously hockey lets you sense people's emotions with observation. So definitely the user of this fruit would want to lean into it, especially because if you're the peace fruit user, I don't think you should need to be fighting. Just not even to be corny, I think it would affect you adversely, right? I mean, just like Boa's beauty has nothing to do with the fruit itself, but because she's so gorgeous, and she's like blasting leg 24/7, it really makes it easy to use the fruit. So it helps with her fighting style, no? But with the peace fruit user, you would just calm people down and walk away. Hey, go take a nap. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? That's a good one. Peaceful instruction. Maybe having enough peace energy onto someone, or if they've been pacified for a long enough time, they will be susceptible to like listening to you. Not like mind control, but you'd be like their yoga instructor almost, Hey, go stretch over there for 5 minutes, just cool off, okay? Hey, you over there, can you just take a nap? I genuinely think that would be a good idea, right? So I think in addition to, observation hockey, if you really needed it, to sense who you could use your fruit on, maybe if you needed to use the 6 powers, you would want to do something like paper art fold. That way you can dodge, like really goofily dodge people's attacks, and it'll give you the opportunity to like stick them with the peace badge or hit them with the peace beam, something dorky like that. And honestly, the more I think about it, the funnier the fruit gets. Let's talk about an awakening for this fruit, right? An awakening would be something hard to think of, but at the same time, we just have to look at the way it works. So you are able to affect people's emotions with your awakening. So I assume, or with your regular power. So I assume the awakening would maybe be able to remove the anger from you and make you like almost Zen mode. And maybe it would make you a very good fighter, right? Because it said, future sight can only be used if you're completely calm and not too racked with emotion. So actually, maybe the peace fruit user would be an excellent self-defense warrior, in which case let's go ahead and add Tech Eye to their 6 powers wanted usage. And I'm not gonna suggest armament just because I genuinely think mastering observation hockey to the point where you're like Fujitora or Kobe and you can sense emotions and intent very easily, it would give you massive success with this fruit. And paper art fold might be a goofy idea, just like wiggling out of the way of stuff, but if you like wiggle out of the way and hit someone with the peace badge and all of a sudden they're calm, you just gotta keep tell them to take a nap and you just keep going, right? But in awakening mode, where you remove all the negative emotion from your body, I actually think would be almost as strong as like a mythical Zoan awakening, where they just get all bonkers bananas powerful, right? I actually think it would make you able to fight on a level of just complete clarity and calmness, where you wouldn't necessarily want to kill your opponent or maim them or destroy them, but just beat them up enough to make them see the error of their ways and stick them with a peace badge. So, recap of this fruit: the peace fruit, a paramecia with the ability to calm people down. 3 different types of user expression that I came up with. If you have any more, bring them in the comments. 3 types. You can peace beam someone. The beam has a definite range. To strengthen that, you can make peace badge constructs and stick them onto people to calm them down. Furthermore, you can summon a tent or a lava lamp, whatever the user expression would be, right? You can summon like a construct that engulfs a wide area, pacifying many people at once. Obviously, this would drain your stamina, as all paramecia users seem to have a stamina drain from their devil fruit power, in addition to the weakness of water and whatever else their fruit might come with, right? And then for an awakening, it would remove all the negative effects on your body, thus giving you clarity of mind to fight freely and peacefully. And fighting for peace is a thing. Then we're going to go ahead and hop into the hockey preferences. We chose observation to master it all the way to the point of seeing emotions, to then know who the fruit would affect perfectly, because you want to choose an angry person over an already peaceful person, because I don't think the fruit would work on them. And for your 6 powers, I think Tekai, Iron Body, and Paper Art Fold Technique, I forgot what it's called in Japanese, but those two powers together in tandem with this fruit, I think would make you a hardcore boss. You would be very strong, relentless, and just calm. You wouldn't be making mistakes left and right. And you know what, now that I think about it, I really like this fruit. So that's been the peace fruit. Let's move on to the next devil fruit. All right, this next fruit, I got the idea from Marvel's Ghost Rider and Hunter x Hunter's Kurapika. The ability to judge someone. So I'm, calling this one the judge fruit. Now, this one has a lot of caveats to it, but once the caveats are met, once all those requirements are fulfilled, something brutal will happen. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing about this fruit is that the user will automatically have a personality shift when using these powers. When using these powers, they will take a stance and they won't be moved. They will become very stubborn and feeling like they need to uphold something. They'll feel against certain things that are against whatever they believe in. So for example, if someone with a very upstanding attitude were to have this fruit, they would be a little bit more inclined to be more intense about it. So they would be like very pompous in their nature. They'd be very intense about who they hang out with. They would just in general be very annoying to be around. They'd be such a goody two-shoes, by the rules, all that good stuff. But upon activation of this fruit, I feel like you would have to summon something. Like there has to be a construct or an indicator that you're using it, right? Maybe like a gleam in your eye that doesn't go away, or like you summon like a huge fucking gavel, like a judge, or you get something just like a weird indicator that says you're in judge mode, right? And when you're in the judge mode, basically anything that you decide to scrutinize becomes like a victim of your power for a set amount of time. So the way it works, let's say someone has stolen from you and you know who it is. You go up and ask them and you turn on your judge powers. They see it. They know what's about to happen. You ask, hey, did you steal that bread from me? And they try to lie about it. No, I didn't. Next thing you know, a giant cage appears around them, just like that. Just drops on top of them. Or, energy rings appear around them and they're unable to move. I feel like this fruit would be like Sugar's fruit. Sugar has an incredible amount of caveats to meet to make this fruit successful. She has to, 1, be awake at all times. 2, she has to run up and touch you. 3, she has to set up a contract all those things have to happen for her fruit to be useful. Otherwise, you have a bunch of thunder soldiers running around. So just like this fruit, they have to be guilty of something. They have to have done something to you or someone you know. And then they have to, lie about it or fail the judgment pass. I was also thinking that maybe you could summon scales and the weight of their actions against a feather, kind of like the Anubis, myth and the Anubis fruit we put on this channel. Like that, you judge them, and if they fail, they're stuck in place for a certain amount of time. Like, they cannot move. I don't know if you like the idea of the cage. Like me personally, I like the ludicrous idea of the cage just dropping on them, or like mystical handcuffs showing up and binding them, or like rope, or just energy in general, some sort of otherworldly force that just stops them from moving. And depending on what they've done, how severe the judgment is how long they're not going to be able to move. Like I said, I don't think this one would necessarily be locked behind consequences because you can create them yourself. So maybe it's up to the user how to express the way that the judgment is passed. Obviously, this is a very niche fruit. You're not going to be whooping this fruit out in the middle of a battle unless you are very equipped to use it. So someone well-versed in law, someone well-versed in conversational etiquette, someone well-versed in psychology, just knowing how to see and catch someone in a lie, someone who is just overall a very, very devastatingly good people person. Because remember, when you're in the judge mode, like, you yourself will also have an indicator that will be like almost like Kurapika or Ghostwriter. Like, you're gonna have an obnoxious personality in that moment. Ghostwriter over here talking about take your penance, and a flaming man skull thing is looking at you and beaming you with the penance stare, which can potentially kill you. But I don't want this fruit to do that, maybe with its awakening, which we will get to in a second. So with this judge fruit, you can pass down sentences. If you heard that, my bad, someone's in the bathroom and they just blew their nose. But anyways, so with this judge fruit, the ability to lock someone in place would, I think, be like the first most minor sentencing. You stole some bread, you lied to me about it, now you're stuck for an hour, right? And then it gets crazier, like, did you harm my friend? Maybe you could use this in battle, actually. So they don't even have to answer, technically. You harmed my friend, this is, an unforgivable offense, you will be, stricken down by lightning, and then lightning just blasts them really quick. And again, because it's a paramecia, there's all these weird conceptual devil fruits that exist too, like the old woman with the washing machine power, where she takes you, and we don't see how she does it, but she washes the evil out of your body and hangs you on a freaking clothesline to dry out like clothes, right? All those conceptual devil fruits, they have no business existing, so don't say that this judgment fruit can't exist, all right? So another power of this judge fruit is, like, I would call it arraignment or something like that. Something along the lines of like a courthouse terminology of, you're not exactly passing a sentence down on someone, but they have to appear before you or they get a sentence, right? So if you use the arraignment power, I feel like it locks a certain area down between you and the person you want to attend the arraignment. And they can't leave until the arraignment is over or until you pass out, right? So you can, arraignment, appear before me, and they have to turn around and face you and make eye contact, and that's when the arraignment begins. Then you can, start telling them, like, I perceive you to be guilty of this crime, how do you plead? And, if they're actually not guilty of it, the arraignment ends immediately. But if they are guilty of it, you can then proceed into a court case, which I just find hilarious. And maybe you can like summon some sort of like ethereal lawyer or something crazy like that lets you have the ability to, host an entire court case upon this person and deliver a very harsh sentence. This kind of sentencing could be, like, you are locked in place for 40 years, or a cage will fall down on you and it won't open for 10 days. Just crazy things like that. And as far as an awakening goes, I don't really think you can judge yourself, right? That would be weird, and I honestly think it would be useless as a power. Maybe one of you guys out there can come up with a clever idea for this, but I genuinely think this one is a little bit different, right? So I personally think it would create the ability to use, death sentencing, which obviously, a very heinous offense requires death. Not everyone is for the death penalty, and this is not a video advocating for the death penalty, saying it's right or wrong in the real world. I'm saying in anime senses. So let's say you witness someone kill your friend right in front of you, and you whoop out the death sentence. So honestly, I think it would be a cut and dry affair. Something like a guillotine appears over their head, or like an electric chair. And again, I'm not saying I'm for the death sentence. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying, these are courtroom ways in which people get sentenced to death, right? So this would be a way that you would be able to do it. And I genuinely think once you use that awakening on someone, and it would only affect one person at a time, that is the caveat of this awakening. It only works on one person, right? You hit them with that death sentence, they die, and you are completely wiped out. Like, you can no longer use that power for the rest of the day, maybe even the week even. Maybe it would cause you yourself to faint entirely. Maybe it would take a couple years off your life. But that is the judge fruit. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Now, for the final devil fruit of this video, the bear fruit. Now, there are 8 species of bear in the world. And, among them, of those 8 species, they each have their own subspecies and whatnot. Some of them don't really have that many subspecies. Some of them, like the brown bear, have tons of subspecies. Now, we are going to focus on the brown bear because, amongst American viewers and whatnot, it is the most common type of bear. So the brown bear is going to weigh anywhere between like a couple hundred pounds to nearly 500 pounds in the case of the biggest one, right? It can be anywhere between 4 feet tall and like 6.5 feet tall on its hind legs, sometimes even larger than that. There have been bigger bears found before. Some of them are still alive even. So, attacks for this application of the fruit, obviously in your bear human form, like your hybrid form, you are going to be crazy strong. Talking somewhere along the lines of the ape fruit that we did, and along the lines of like Burgess with the buff fruit. I think just in one hand, like we saw what Big Mom did to the bear when she was a kid, you as a full adult now mixed with the bear fruit, going crazy. Bear palm strikes, bear claw strikes, the ability to like grapple them and like hook them in with your claws, an overhead bite, bear headbutting. I feel like you would be a very visceral fighter, because when you see bear attack videos, I actually looked a couple up before doing this. No, I will not show any footage from them, but bears are really, really ruthless. I mean, they don't leave any space of it, like any type of opening. They have a very solid defense. Unless you have a gun, a sort of like blunt type weapon, because a sharp one is not really going to do the trick from what those videos show. Like stabbing a bear will only piss it off more. Like you have to hit it with enough force to knock it out or run away. But like I said, unless you have a gun, a blunt weapon, or bear pepper spray, which they really hate, you would not win. You're going to die against a bear 9 times out of 10. Just in your bear form alone, you would be more formidable against like a fifth of the Marines at Marine Ford. You would just wipe all of them out easily. Now, obvious applications for this, you're going to want armament hockey. Bears already come with good observation hockey in real life. They can smell from very far distances. They can hear very well. And overall, they have a sense of danger. So they're not just any hoe in the woods, right? Bears are crazy strong. They're crazy fast. Some of them can run up to 40 miles an hour. That is nightmarish when you think about it, okay? And just one claw strike alone can strip the bark off of a tree completely. Imagine what it would do to human flesh, right? So, obviously, armament hockey, you're going to want to take it. 6 powers, make use of them all. Why not? You're already a superhuman with the Zoan fruit. The 6 powers should come naturally and easily easier to a Zoan fruit user than the other types of devil fruit users out there. That's just my opinion. It gives you a boost to strength, stamina, and all that good stuff, so you can pick those powers up much faster. I don't think you're going to necessarily need airwalk. Maybe you might, right? But obviously we're going to go with, Fang Pistol, like who's who. We're going to go for a Rankiaku, but, with your claws. We're going to go for Tekai, Iron Fur, Unbreakable Body type of stuff, right? And all of that paired with Haki is going to make you such a formidable fighter. Awakening, obviously, we've discussed awakenings for Zoans before. There's two types. You can either lose your control and become a werebear, more bear than human. You get the height boost, you get the strength boost, but you lose yourself entirely. Or, as we've seen in later chapters of One Piece, the awakenings confirmed for Zoans what they truly look like. If you don't know, you might want to back out of the video now. You got 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so basically, the awakening for Zoan, you get the ribbons around you and you get an enhanced form of what you already have. Now, it's not confirmed if Lucci got larger in his form, but it looks like he did, in my opinion, because he was dwarfing the height of Sentomaru. It could have just been perspective, but it looked like, you get a height boost. Lucci got an extreme speed boost, like a crazy one, right? He was using like a super speed, like hand claw pistol thing to like hit Sentomaru, and it was like unstoppable for him. For the bear awakening in that form, you'll get your ribbon, you'll be in your hybrid form, but what I think you would achieve faster in a bear form than any other one is like the mastery of the form, because I feel like you would just be like in tune with yourself, because bears are very in tune with themselves. They know when to go to sleep for the hibernation. Like I said, they know when they're being hunted. You rarely can get the drop on a bear. Like, that's just not a thing that happens. They will notice you from quite a distance away. Also, fun fact, they are part of the canine family, just like the greater canines. Like, mind-blowing when I read that they're more closely related to dogs than anything else. Bears are just gigantic, evil, scary dogs. But yeah, some basic attack names. You want to think of stuff that bears are known for. I would say like salmon catching claw, or like over the top bite, just something along the lines of that, because bears have been like circus performers and stuff like that. So like over the top, like tent top, I don't know, just a spitball idea. But I really do think that the claw and the fangs, they would be your biggest like money makers in terms of battle. But also Tekai can't be overlooked, because a bear rushing you and not even hitting you with its claws or fangs, just its sheer body weight and force, it's gonna knock you clean on your ass. And when you're in the hybrid form, right, you're choosing if you want to use finger pistol or Tekai, maybe even airwalk and do like a mock vice type maneuver and like slam your ass into the ground or something like that. I just think the possibilities are endless with Zoan types, so they kind of all end up being the same after a while. Like, I suggest the Haki path, I suggest some of the 6 powers, and I just name some attacks. What I think would make the bear form different is your aggression. Once you've been triggered into rage mode as a bear, I feel like you'd be more barbarian, like your D&D class. Like, you'd be more barbarian than anything, right? This is like an unconsolable rage that wouldn't just stop you. Like the ape fruit, I don't think it would come with the inconsolable rage, because apes and humans are very closely related, but humans and bears are not. So I feel like you would risk, like maybe this fruit actually comes with a high risk of not being able to awaken properly because of how aggressive bears are in general. I actually like that a lot. Each devil fruit has its own little caveat. Now, bears are not strictly carnivores, so the brown bear, that is, which is what this devil fruit video is. I don't think you would have to get the carnivorous attitude, right? But I do think that once you are triggered in the anger, there's no stopping you. Like, that's that. You're angry now. You're losing your shit. You're losing your cool. You're hitting people with, the fang pistol, the claw pistol. You're using Tekai and just like smashing things to the ground. I don't think you would care for paper art fold. I don't think you would really care about life return, or maybe you would because of hibernation. That feels like an entirely separate video topic coming on here, so let's avoid that for now. But all in all, I think the bear fruit in general would You know, obviously you're going to take armament hockey because you already have very good observational skills, so you would just need like the base minimum of observation hockey. Then, you know, you're gonna specialize in using your fangs and claws in tandem with your massive bear body to start an attack string pattern that would resemble something along the lines of like a wrestler, I feel like, because, you know, bears, when they get you, they pin you to the ground and they maul you. So, oh, maybe that's what you could do. You can use Tekai to like tackle them, you know, like body bear tackle and boom, and then, you know, bear mauling, and just start going crazy on them with your claws and fangs. You wouldn't even really need the finger pistol at that point. Maybe you would do like a bear body lunge that mixes finger pistol and airwalk together to give you like a quick jet of speed to spear someone and catch them. I like that. Ursa spear, something along those lines. That's actually a really cool move. I like that a lot. I think I might actually run a bear barbarian in D&D now. I'm gonna go do that. That's been the video. Merch Hunter Ricky here, spitballing devil fruit ideas with you. Have a good one, everyone.